Hi, I'm Karen from Layers of Learning, and I was just sitting in my schoolroom doing a little bit of planning, and a lot of people ask me what that looks like. So I thought I should let you in on a little peek at how I plan. It's probably going to look different for you, but maybe you'll get an idea here or there. Today, I've already been in the middle of my planning session for a bit here. I'm doing year 1, and right now I'm on unit 5. I'm a real paperback person, so I took the PDFs and I printed them and bound them. And so mine has the history, the geography, the science, and the art all together into one spiral bound set. A lot of people, my sister Michelle, she does it straight from her iPad. You don't have to print them out. I just love having a book on my lap. So this is prehistoric art. And the first thing I do when I plan, I just open it up to the library list. And I kind of peruse that library list that's right at the beginning. And first of all, I look and go, oh, do I have any books on this topic? Because if I already have some in our, homeschool library, I don't want to forget to use them. So I did that, and I grabbed the couple of books that I had. I had 3 books for this unit. This one right here, Boy of the Painted Cave, happens to be the Bookworms Read Aloud. And so I'm really excited to read this to my kids. I want to make sure I get it in my planner so I don't forget to read it to them when the time comes. So I've got that. And then I had those couple of others. I have Painters of the Caves and The Secret Cave, Discovering Lascaux. I'm going to go and look for a couple more books and see what I can find. But even if I didn't, that would really be plenty, especially for an arts unit. I also make sure that I have the spines. So even if I can't find anything from my library, I've got a spine to, have as backup. And then I also rely on the YouTube playlists. If I can't find a single book on a topic, that's okay. I'll just head over to YouTube and use those video resources there. But I'm going to show you my screen and what it looks like as I plan this arts unit. So I always have a couple of windows open while I'm doing my planning. First of all, I like to have Amazon open. If I can't find something at the library, I often will check and see how expensive it is on Amazon. If you have a different website that you like, you might go there instead. But I have something really neat that I wanted to show you. This is a book that's on the library list. It's called Mysteries of Easter Island by Laura Hamilton. So I looked it up on Amazon, and sure enough, I found it. And it's $11. You can find them used for a little bit less. But right here is what I wanted to show you. I have a library extension. This is a Chrome extension that you can add to your Chrome browser. And it connects to my public library system, and it shows me, oh, look, my library has this book. So I don't need to buy it on Amazon. I go over to my library website and I searched for it, and there it is. And so then I just save it to my lists. Not all libraries have this, but most have a thing where you can save to your lists. I call it by the month that I'm going to be using this. You could give it a unit name or whatever you want, but I'm going to be using this book in January. So I'll just save it right to my library list. When January rolls around, I'm just going to basically go to that list, and the library packages it all up for me. And when I get there, they have all of my books ready and waiting. So far I had 3 books. I found one more. There are a couple of other good-looking books in this unit, but for an arts unit, I know we're not going to be doing a ton of reading. So I'm probably going to call that good for, gathering my resources. I'll probably watch a YouTube video or 2 from this unit also with my kids. So now I'm just going to open up my planner. And this is basically the planner, which is a PDF. This is the mentor planner that you can get on Layers of Learning. And once I have it open in Adobe Acrobat, it allows me to go ahead and type right on this. So right here is where you click Add Text. First, you're going to tell it you want to edit the PDF, and then you add text. And when I do that, I just drag a text box out here where I'm typing. And I like to start with the name of the unit. So I'm going to put that in bold just because I like to see that separately. And then I'm going to just make a little bit of a bulleted list here of the things that I want to do in this unit. So for sure, I'm going to want to read some of these books that I found. But first, I like to start every single unit by just saying discuss. And that just means I'm going to kind of read them the intro. We're going to talk about what they know about the topic. This is just something that I wing. I don't plan the discussion. I just use the unit book and I start to talk to my kids about it. So you'll often see in my planner, discuss. That means we're not going to do the entire activity about it or anything. We're just going to talk about it together. And then I'll probably read one of these books that I got. So maybe I'll do Read Painters of the Caves. This is one of the books that I already owned, and I don't want to forget to read that with them. And then I'm just glancing through my unit booklet here, and I'm going, okay, let's see what catches my eye. There's an exploration on natural materials, on earth tones that I like. That would be a fun thing to add to their art sketchbook. So I'll just write the name, earth tones, right there in my planner. That way I'll remember to go back to it. As I'm looking through, I see a few other explorations and I'm like, oh, that would be fun. That's good. I don't know about that. I think I will have them do the natural surfaces exploration. The earth tones one was a really quick thing that I could see was just done in their art sketchbook. If it's a longer exploration, I would only plan one on that day. But if it's short, I might squeeze in two. So that's probably about all that I'll do for that unit, but I'm going to write art sketchbook. That earth tones exploration right there was in the art sketchbook, but anytime we discuss or read or anything like that, I'll often just say, hey kids, write a little tiny entry or draw a little picture in your sketchbook or, whatever student journal it is that we're working on about what you want to remember of what we learned. I mentioned that I had that Boy of the Painted Cave book. I'm actually going to put that over here in our reading. I'm just going to drag this little box and say, oh, don't forget, I have a read aloud. We want to read Boy of the Painted Cave. This is a chapter book that's probably going to take us more than 1 week to read. If I figure if we do a chapter a day or 2 chapters a day, it'll take us a week or two. So I'll drag it to the next week also. And then I've got it in that following week. So this is my second week of the arts unit in my planner. I'm just going to drag another text box. And again, we'll just put a little title on that. Prehistoric art. And now I've got to decide, what do I want to do in the second week here? So I'm going to go back to just kind of flipping through my unit booklet and seeing what pops out at me. Ooh, okay, that's kind of cool. There's one that is called Symbols in the Caves, and it shows different symbols from caves around the world. I like that concept, and so I'm going to have my kids do that. And then, okay, there's one called Standing Stones that I like. And we're probably not going to have a ton of time. It's one where you can go outside and do an activity, but I'm recognizing I'm doing this in January. I want them to learn this concept, but we're probably not going to do the whole activity. So I'm just going to write discuss standing stones. That's one of the things that I often do if I recognize, oh, we can't do all of the activities, but I still want to cover that topic, that concept I want my kids to understand. So we'll just discuss it. And then I'm just going to write that we'll probably watch YouTube videos about this and probably put a little entry in our art sketchbook. That's a pretty common week for us. That's what it might look like. And then I'll just go down to the next week. I generally plan each of my units to be a month long. So if it ends up being different, that's okay with me. But that's kind of what my plan is. Everything that I plan is still very, very flexible and fluid. I see that I forgot to bold fossils when I did that one, so I'm going to go back and do that. I write things down so I don't forget them, but I don't necessarily hold myself to it. I had another book that I wanted to make sure that I read from this unit, so I'm going to say we're going to read the secret cave. And then there is a section in this about cave paintings, and I want to do the cave paintings exploration. So I'm just going to type that in. And then let's see if there's anything else. Oh, there's a cave painting story I might want to do. I'm not sure if I'll have time, so I'm just going to put a little star and put cave painting story. That star is a little cue to myself. That's only if you have time, don't stress about it. And truthfully, all of them are that, but it's even less pressure on myself when I just have that little symbol. So it's something that I do. And then I'm still going to say art sketchbook because generally we add things to our art sketchbook. There's something that I've been forgetting to put in these that I need to add. I like my kids to do an art warm-up each week. So maybe this one will just be a how to draw. We have some how to draw books that my kids like. We also often will just go to a how to draw website if there's something that they want specifically to draw. You can also see how to draw, art warm-up sidebars in the units. So there's one in here that I like. It's my day in pictographs. So we'll do an art warm-up that is that. And if I don't have time for an art warm-up, it's not a huge deal, but I like it when my kids do something that's just a creative thing on their own. So if I don't have one, I sometimes will just write free sketch, and they just are going to draw a little sketch in their sketchbooks. Okay, and then this is going to be the last week of our unit because they're each 4 weeks long. So again, I'm just going to drag the text box. We'll put a title on it. And then in this last week, I kind of switch and think over in my mind about the show what you know portion of each unit. And sometimes we do an exploration still. Often we'll do one or, just do something kind of more simple. But if we don't have time, it's okay if we just kind of finish off the unit and do a show what we know. I really like the art tours. So this week I'm going to do the art tour that's listed as an exploration in there. And that is of El Castillo Cave. So I'll put that down. Again, I forgot my art warm-up. Boy, I'm nailing this. Okay. And I'm just flipping through my books to see if there's anything that catches my eye for an art warm-up on this one. Oh, this has drawing a symmetrical natural item. So I'm just going to put that in there. The concept is that lots of things in nature have symmetry. And so you might draw a lizard that is symmetrical on each side or something like that. So again, I don't put a lot in this because it's already in the unit book. If I just have a reminder to myself, then it's all in the book and I can see that when I'm actually teaching my kids right out of the book. So that's probably the only exploration that I'm going to do is the art tour because this is our show what you know week. And so I'll turn to that section. And there's always a coloring or a narration page. Often there are writer's workshop ideas. We also do the big book of knowledge. In this one, I'm probably just going to have them do a narration. So I'll just write narration. And then for sure, we like to do the trivia questions for every unit in this last week. And you'll notice on this page, because this is the last week of the unit, the last bullet point on every one of my topics is trivia and big book of knowledge. We basically, usually on the last Friday of a unit, have a big trivia game. And I will quiz them out of the big book of knowledge. I'll quiz them on anything that we learned. And it's just really fun. It's very game show style. We have a really good time. And the kids love the review. They actually focus on learning the things because they know the trivia game is coming up. So it's kind of a fun part of our homeschool that we always do. But that's basically what it looks like to plan a unit on paper. or I guess it's not on paper yet. It's on the PDF. As soon as I'm done with all of my planning for the year, I'm going to go ahead and print out my planner. You'll notice that on this page over here, this is kind of our daily work checklist. This PDF has it set so that if I type it into one field, it appears on every single page. So I didn't have to retype these. I typed these daily work checklist items one time, and then it appears on each page. I like to fill in, before I ever start any planning, I just fill in the names of the units that we're doing. And again, I do it once a month. We switch the units, and it's pretty easy. I haven't planned the writer's workshop things for this week yet, but let me go back and quickly just show you what that looks like. So in this was the last unit that I did. It's the Fanciful Stories unit. And so I just went through Writer's Workshop and I chose a few activities that I thought would be fun. We're going to roll a complete character. The character wheel one, I looked and thought, ooh, that's kind of detailed. It's probably going to take my kids a couple of days. So I put down 3 days. If it takes less than that, then I'll throw a free write in there or just grab something else out of the unit. They really like just selecting something from the journal jar. So we have a journal jar that sits on our shelf, and they like just grabbing out something, and I'm always adding writing prompts to that. And so I usually put one of those in sometime during the week. Not always, but usually. So you just go through the writer's workshop, and just like I typed in for the arts unit, I type in what I want to do for the writer's workshop assignments. And then the last week, I kind of reserve for their project. Sometimes they start their project earlier, but I have no problem saying, yeah, start your project. You have an idea, go for it. And then we kind of switch that. If they've already done their project, then we'll do some of these activities later in the month, and I just kind of swap them. But if we haven't started the project, then this is kind of my reminder. This is the week that you're going to let them take a piece all of the way through the writing process. And then on Friday, we do the publishing step and we share our project together. So we have each week our daily work, our writer's workshop, and then I kind of do a subject of the day, except I do 2 subjects a day in history, geography, science, and art. As I complete these things, this is going to end up printed out, and I just take a highlighter pen and I highlight what we, finished. And it's so rewarding to me. I'm just a person who loves checklists. So anyway, I just highlight it and it shows what we've done. If something doesn't get done, I don't really worry about it. It's okay with me if it's not all done. These are really just reminders of things that interest me in the unit. It doesn't all have to get done. And often I'll move something. By the end of the year, this planner is not only typed on like this, but also sketched all over. I've written all over it and made little notes to myself because I like it to be a working planner that works with me. And I forgot to put in one thing that just occurred to me. I didn't ever say that I wanted to read that book that I checked off or that I had found in the library. So I'm going to go back really quickly. And that was called Mysteries of Easter Island. So I want to make sure that I read that. This is why I have a planner, so that I don't forget those things. And if it's a library book, I'll often put library just so that I know, oh, that was from the library. If I don't have it around my house, then did you forget to go to the library? Did the library not have it? Anything like that may come up. But in general, this is just a note sheet to myself to go, oh, these are the things that interested you. This is what you're planning and hoping to do. It's not a 100% checklist. It's just a fun reminder list of what we would like to do with our unit. And so that's what it looks like when I plan a unit. And once it is planned, there's just one last thing that I do. I basically take my unit book and I take those resources that I had gathered, and then I have little boxes back here, and this was the 5th unit, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not even labeled yet, but they will be. And then everything just goes right into there. These are just the IKEA magazine racks, and they just go right there so that when it comes time for me to pull out the unit, it's just ready for me. These are the things that I like to do in the summertime. so that I'm not scrambling during the school year and stressing out and canceling things because I wasn't ready. So it doesn't take me very long. I spend, a week or two in the summer, just a few hours each day, getting everything ready. And honestly, it's really fun for me. It's rewarding and I enjoy it. And then once I have done that, I'm so excited to start the school year that it kind of rubs off on my kids and we all get excited. So that's a rundown of my planning. Thanks for joining me.